Afternoon, good evening, and as I always say, depending, of course, on which part of the world you are watching this from, this is yet another episode of Pearls of Wisdom, Sawil Trailblazers Awards finalists. And this afternoon, I have the privilege and honor of hosting a fellow South African, Veronica Motloutsi, who is the Chief Executive at Smart Digital Solutions. She is an executive in South Africa in the highly male-dominated ICT industry. She happens to also be a trusted advisor to CIOs and has a deep understanding of the industry. She's had a stint at Vodacom where she led a channel for international markets, I believe, in the DRC, Mozambique, Tanzania, Lesotho, Nigeria, and Zambia. Veronica, thank you so much for making the time, and most importantly, congratulations. Congratulations on being a Sawil Trailblazer for 2021, and congratulations on the obvious.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to have this conversation with you. Indeed, I'm grateful to be one of the finalists, and I'm grateful to go through this journey as a mother. This is my third child, so I'm really excited and looking forward to holding my bundle of joy.
Yeah, you're almost there. It could be 2 bundles, who knows? November might just give you 2 bundles, Sawil Trailblazer top 10 and obviously the obvious one. So yeah, thank you for making the time. I really appreciate it. So let's dive right into it. As I've alluded, before we started recording, this interview is mostly about knowing you as a person. It's also just to share, the pearls of wisdom that have taken you through the journey of being the trailblazer that you are, because there is a person behind that powerhouse. Let's start from the beginning. So you raised in born and bred in South Africa. Where exactly, and how is your upbringing, like your household? Is there mom and dad, siblings, etc.?
So I was born in Pretoria, Soshanguve, Pretoria North. I matriculated there, raised by my grandparents from a middle-class family, obviously. And we come from an environment where, as a township girl, you didn't know what is poverty because you were all the same. Mm-hmm. And you met your own category when you get to university. Then you realize that how life is, it's this way. Mm. I grew up there. I matriculated in 1998, started university in 99, still in Soshanguve, Tshwane University of Technology. Mm. That's where I studied my national diploma in information technology. It was my first time I had a contact with a computer. And the reason why I chose information technology, it was mainly because that was the shortest queue. If you understand TUT then, which is Tshwane University of Technology, the queues are long in January. So I decided to go for the shortest one, which is information technology that time. And first year I did very well. I was a top student. And that's when my love for ICT really started. And I realized that I love this and I can make a career out of this. I completed my diploma, went to do BTech at Central University of Technology in the Free State. And that time, it was my first time in Bloemfontein.
My home.
And oh, lovely. And I was a young girl who was determined to do it in Mangaung.
What year is
because
this now?
There were no opportunity for me. I could not go to Pretoria Tech because the qualification was in the evening.
Oh.
I needed to move to Mangaung, and which was a great opportunity because I got to work there while I'm studying. After I completed my degree, then I moved back to Pretoria. Then I worked for the National Energy Regulator, completed my master's in business information system. I joined Sasol. I was given the opportunity to do a postgraduate diploma in business administration. Then I moved to MBA, which I also completed. At that time, I joined Nedbank, Sun International, then Vodacom. So in a nutshell, that's my background. I've got 3 siblings, which I all raised. Because as the firstborn, the responsibility of raising your siblings, rest on you.
Yeah.
I'm very excited because our last born, she's 18. She's writing her matric today. She's writing her matric this year. Actually, she's writing tomorrow. So it's been quite a journey for me, and maybe during the discussion, we'll also talk about why did I start the journey of entrepreneurship later in my life, not earlier, and we'll talk about those dynamics as a young Black woman in South Africa.
Yeah. So, and we can get right into it. Tell me about, so you're raised by your grandparents, right? Which is, it's very interesting because throughout these interviews that I've been doing with the other trailblazers and since our expansion to the rest of Africa, the dynamics are so different. A lot of them are raised by their parents, and one can maybe take it a little bit further and say that apartheid really did us quite a huge number as South Africans, and we don't talk about that because a lot of us are raised in South Africa by our grandparents, and we assume that is the global standard or the continental standard, and it's not. So I'm glad you brought that up. Now you leave Soshanguve to go and study, and you realize that, which is what a lot of us come to realize when we get to varsity, that actually I come from a poor background. How do you navigate that?
Which is very interesting because also your background shape you,
Yeah.
And for me, that did not break me. Actually, it encouraged me. I was encouraged to do better, and that's for me an opportunity to become a better person. The other things that is the type of people that you surround yourself with, that will not dent your self-worth. And which is very important in our life journey or our career. The people that you network with, you surround yourself with, are key to your success. So for me, it was never a big deal that much. It was just an eye-opener to say, wow, there's another world out there that I was never exposed to. But this world looks interesting. And if I work hard, I will be able to get there, So, and being competitive in my nature, that also helped me to do better and perform better. So that's very interesting. The reason why I was raised by my grandparents, firstly, my mom had me while she was young. I think she was at high school. And she needed to go back to school as well. So, and I became the child in the home. My parents really took care of me. My great parents, that's what I'm referring to, because your grandparents are they're like that.
Yeah.
So they took care of me. But later, then my mom had an issue with mental sickness. And that's a sickness that we were not exposed to in the township.
Yeah.
And we could not deal with that condition at that time. And can you imagine if you are a young girl and you have to navigate that part as well and realize that this is my reality. And that's why when I completed, I started working, I immediately needed to take over.
Okay.
You get
To
my
be the
point?
parent, yeah.
To be the parent. To be the parent at that time. By the grace of God, I had a very good job. So I managed to take my siblings through private school, or what you call the Motloutsi type of, not the real private school as it is, Motloutsi schools. And then that's why I'm grateful that the last one today, she's in matric preparing for exams tomorrow.
Wonderful. And it's interesting that you spoke about that, because my next question was going to be, who's your support structure then in all of this? I mean, I can imagine as the firstborn child, and now you are the almost like the North Star of the family, literally. So who supports you? Who's backing you up?
So I managed to build a very strong support system. Growing up, I had my uncles and my aunt around me who were there to support me. Do you know I've got friends of 24 or 25 years that I met at varsity. Some I got them in Soshanguve, and we've been very tight. And these are my support system.
Yeah.
Even when I'm away, I know that they will call and check on my children. Even today, I invested in a very good helper. I invested in a very good driver.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, having a driver is no longer, it's a necessity now. It's no longer, you need them
glamorous.
Around you. Exactly. Because your children needs to attend to this, need to attend to that, needs to attend to that. And at the same time, you have to do work. And unfortunately in my journey, I got married and divorced. It was an abusive marriage, which I had to make a decision quickly to leave it because I had responsibilities. Can you imagine, like you are saying, if you were the true north, if something goes wrong with you, a lot gets broken. So it has been a life of sacrifice as well, and putting others first, with the mindset that if their life is better, things will get easier for me.
Yeah. Sure, that's a lot in one, right? I'm thinking for the women who are watching on their behalf. So how do you, I want to say, how do you pick the support structure? But I suppose it has to be aligned to your values, because we do make friends and sometimes they don't last in varsity.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it can happen. It can happen. So how do you then go through the whole marriage thing, abuse thing, and divorce thing, and say to yourself, in as much as this is also a support structure, I don't need this in my life. I'm going to go on my own. Like, are you not scared at the time? Are you not thinking, I should rather stay here because this is the only family I know?
You know what? I'm grateful to the fact that I was raised by a very strong man and a woman.
Okay.
And I grew up exposed to a good marriage.
Oh, through grandma and grandpa?
Through my grandmother and my grandfather.
Okay.
Okay. And I was clear in my mind. I've always been clear in my mind where I want to go, how I want to get there. And abuse is painful.
Yeah.
Firstly, you don't sleep, you lose your hair, you gain weight, lose it tomorrow, all those things, and you lose the sense of who you are. And if you're not in touch with yourself through your spiritual life and other activities, then you get lost. So you need to be grounded in something that will always remind you that you are something, you are here on earth for a purpose, and this is not what God had desired for you. there comes a time whereby the fear of leaving is not longer there.
Yeah, okay.
And
Yes.
I had to draw a line very early to say, you know what, this is not me. I was never made to suffer, and abuse was never part of my journey in life because I'm not strong enough to deal with it. The second thing is that seeing my mother going through a mental health issues, I realized that if I play with my life, I will also get there.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of things. Yes, I had friends. Friends come and go, but they're here for a reason. The time that they are there, they add value to your life. And some were sounding boards. I had colleagues. I'm one person who's been through a lot of counseling sessions because sometimes it's very important to talk to someone. Professional help, it does help. So those are the things that really helped me. But the most important thing was to understand who I am.
Yeah.
And why am I here? And I'm one person. I don't limit my life because of other people's expectation. Because you'll be told that think of the children. And I would say, if I'm not happy, how will my children be happy? And today my children are the happiest people because I'm happy.
Yeah.
And I do my best to provide for them. Their father does provide for them as well. But I drew the boundaries and I drew a line that no other person can ever do that to me. I don't deserve it. And there's no other woman in this world who deserves it.
Powerful. So profound. And I think, just to emphasize, it does speak to a great support structure because as women, working women, if you are able to invest in, like you said, the simple things, a domestic help at home, a driver, any form of support structure, therapy, and as Black women, young women who came from poverty in inverted commas, we take those things for granted. So we're still going through learning processes of putting those structures in place and not counting on the things that our mothers banked on in terms of a support structure, which is in essence a man. So thanks for sharing that. So you've spoken a bit about your career, and and I think you ended you left corporate when you were with Vodacom, if I understand clearly.
My last corporate job was with Vodacom, and that's when I decided that it is time.
Yeah. And you were at the executive level. So before you go into that, because I've been curious about that thing. Here you are in corporate, blazing trail.
Doing very well.
Doing exceptionally well. I remember watching one of your interviews on Motloutsi, and I later discovered that you left. I'm like, how? Why? Because I myself am one of the women that look for what you call examples that we can follow, especially when you're in corporate. So why did you make the transition? Why did you leave when you were doing so well?
Every year you need to assess your life, where you are and where you want to be. And I told you that I could not go on my own very early in my life because I had a lot of responsibilities, right?
Yeah.
But running a business has always been my passion. Being an entrepreneur has always been my passion. But unfortunately, I had to work to provide for my family.
Okay.
But that gave me an opportunity to build network, to learn how to run a business, the budgeting, sales, business development, and all that. That was one part. Secondly, we are in South Africa. There are a lot of opportunities for women. And I was not going to leave those opportunities. Firstly, there was a gap. There are few women in my industry, ICT. And there were few women that can do what I was doing.
Okay.
So that for me was a was a window, an opportunity that I could not miss. That's where I then calculated, I said, it's time then to go on my own. I planned that 2 years or a year before I left Vodacom. And I needed to make sure that I've got enough money to sustain me while I'm doing this. So I didn't just leave and just start a business. I made sure that at least I could pay my bill for the next 18 months while I'm doing this. That was very important to me. But I made sure that I don't just leave Vodacom. I entered into a negotiation that who is a better person to sell your product and services. As an employee, I know them passionately. So I am well positioned, to sell your product and services. And that's when I got into the fiber business.
Okay.
And I have done a lot of research. I knew that this is going to be a big opportunity for Africa, for South Africa. And I had the skills, I had the network, I had everything. Then I decided to leave corporate to start my own thing. And that's what made me successful.
Yeah.
So one could say, yes, I delayed, but during that time, I learned a lot with regards to my industry, the people in my industry, who can I approach, who can I talk to? So, and that opened the door for me. And that's why I am still doing well even today.
Wonderful. I like that you mentioned that one of the things that you saw as an opportunity or a gap was the fact that you were the only woman, or very few women were doing what you were doing, and even better doing it, how you were doing it. Which brings me to the next question, and that is the reason why you are nominated for this award is because you intentionally lift as you rise. And I have witnessed that myself because I've attended, I think it was your launch. So tell us about the initiative that got you this nomination.
Sure, I have a lot of initiatives, but we'll go there. And talking about lifting as we rise, right? My MTech research was around intervention to assist women to retain and recruit women in the industry. That was in the 1990, around 2002, 3. 2016, things hadn't changed. And intentionally in my career, and I'm not doing this to blow a horn on myself, I made sure that another woman remain in ICT.
Yeah.
I had a lot of women that I had groomed, and I'm so proud of them. Some are doing far better than me. And I made sure that no women around me will leave this industry. And it has been something that I've been doing. I started under the Smart Digital brand, which is my company. I started the Women in Digital Leadership series that aims to talk to women as well with regards to opportunities in the industry. How do you obtain funding? How do you stay in the industry? What are the trends? If you sit around the table at work, we women, we are the last one to know about the trends. We get them later when they are in execution.
Yeah.
We don't have that foresight to say, this will be big in my continent. Let me start investing in it. We get it later. And as a result, there's always a gap. For me, I needed to bridge that gap and bring women along, because sometimes one-on-one, you just influence there and there, but it has to be done at a larger scale, where we have more and more women coming in and building themselves and preparing themselves for what was about to hit us.
Yeah.
At that time was the fourth industrial revolution. We all spoke about it, but did we understand it? Did we know how to tap into those opportunities, how to work together as a continent? We didn't have those ideas. We could see the Africa Trade Agreement coming, but none of us were ready.
Yeah.
Even today, most of us are not ready to take advantage of that, you know, and we always lag behind. For me, it was mainly to bridge that gap, you know, being the front runners, being the first one to do it, and being brave to do it.
Yeah.
Because I've always been brave. I've always went into places where few people wanted to go into. You know, right now I'm working on raising funding for some of the big projects, and if I get them right, you'll be shocked that this woman, did she do this?
Yeah.
So that's what I want to see. Those numbers must change. Seipati, we can't every year we talk about women in ICT, women, the numbers are still the same.
Yeah. No, we can't. We can't. And that's why we celebrate women like yourselves. It's just to give you that, you know, nod and encouragement to keep going. Because the more the more the merrier. We need as many initiatives as possible to change the status quo. We just cannot continue having conversations year after year about the same thing. So I agree with you. Maybe just share some detail about the Women in Leadership initiative. Where do women find it, and how do they get in touch with your with the series, or where can they? Yeah, how can they connect?
It is the African Women in Digital Leadership. They can go to www.smartdigital-solution.co.za to read about the program. We had partnered with the African Management Institute because it's within the continent. Yeah. So the intention is to target all women in the continent, not just South Africans. And also we had partnered with the Black Management Forum, Sandton branch, you know, because that's the institution or an organization that train leaders, you know, and expose them to different things that we did not have. So we brought them together. And when you get to our website, you can enroll. It's free. And then the lady by the host, Shisana, will get in touch in terms of the next webinars, the next engagement session. We are excited because they've opened up. Now we can have a lot of conversations. It's not that we don't want to be digital. We were the first one to move to online digital, but people are fatigued, you know, and the engagement are not as rich and real as in one-on-one. So we are, next year, that's the focus. We'll have those conversations. And it's not just to talk about life and everything. It's a real problem. Yeah. How do I secure funding? Yeah. How do I make sure that I've got a bankable project? You know, because right now it's not just about tender. We must move from the tender mindset. You know, it's about being innovative, coming up with a fresh idea, funding that idea, you know. It's about equity. How do I invest in another company? What is it that they are looking for? Because there as well, we women are not there.
Yeah. No. we can have another lengthy conversation about that if we get into it. So yeah, look, I mean, and like you said, the issue of that what's trending or what's up and coming and where we need to focus. And I can share with confidence that just your launch day or that evening, and I don't think you had an idea, like most of us in that room, that there was this lockdown COVID thing coming.
Yeah.
But I often reflect, like, I feel like my life was just wired in that way that year, because the two events I did, we had our event, and we were talking about the 4IR and how we need to disrupt before we are disrupted. Little
Yes.
did we know, it was, when is the International Women's Day? It was early 8th of March, and then end of
Yes.
March, boom, lockdown. We were disrupted. So it's important to have the conversations, but they must be meaningful, because I had women come back to me at a later stage and saying, had I not been at that event, I would not have had the know-how of how to handle this, because I'd already started investing in disrupting myself before I'm disrupted. So they are very important, and I'll try and share the details also on your interview. I'll ask my guys to just put the link down below so that people can access it. So maybe just second last question of finally, 3 pearls of wisdom that you can share with women who are going to watch this interview.
Thank you for the feedback with regards to the African women in digital leadership. I'm really glad that it disrupted people, mindset and behavior, and open an opportunity for them to look at things differently. Pearls of wisdom, this is your journey. It's not somebody else's journey, it is yours. Never compare yourself with somebody else. Learn from them. Take what you can take, shape up your life, and move. It's very important. Don't live up to societal expectations. Things have changed. The role of a woman have changed as well. Yeah. There are so many opportunities that requires us to be out there. So societal expectation, remove them, because they blindfold us. And when we wake up, it's too late.
Yeah.
So embrace who you are now, understand why you are here on earth, and just do that. The last one is that, I get young people asking me, what is the best career decision that you had made? And they laugh, because I always say, marry well.
I'm also laughing.
Marry well is not marrying a rich guy or what, but marry somebody who you will share the vision together, who will understand, who will support you, and you will support him. Jeez. That makes life easier for you.
Wow.
He is here on earth for a purpose. You are here on earth for a purpose. So he can't be the head and you become the neck. And the head, when it's not there, you are a headless person.
Yeah.
You bring your vision, he brings his vision, you bring them together, you drive it that way. There's always respect, mutual understanding, and all that are required to have a successful relationship. In that type of a setting, as a woman, you'll prosper. I saw most women, my friends, colleagues, neighbors, that as soon as they tie the knot, they forget who they are. They lose it. And it's sad to see that, because we want a lot of women, we want them to participate, but they can't participate because of those smaller things.
Yeah.
So for me, those are the best 3 pearls of wisdom that I can share with other women out there. But maybe in other conversation and discussion, we can share more. But what I have learned is that we are not brave enough. And we are too scared because we were told that we are not good enough. And as in South Africa, patriarchy and all those things has also contributed to limiting us on how far we can go. You can have it all. I always tell people, you can have children, you can have a husband, you can have all these things and still succeed in your business.
Still succeed. Yeah.
Thank you.
Look, thank you so much for that. I'm stealing this one. Best career advice, marry well. And I laughed as well, but the context is so much deeper. Like yourself, I know a lot of women who not just forgot who they are, they were beaten to the point where they forgot. They had no choice but to forget who they are, because that thing does shame you. It strips you away of your dignity. You completely lose your identity as a trailblazing woman. So the signs are there, Ellie, exit, start again. And I like that you can have it all. So don't limit yourself to, the current situation. Wow, so profound indeed. Finally, the girl in Soshanguve, 16-year-old, when you get up from your chair now, and you, after this interview, you bump into her, what does she say? Is she proud of you? What does she have to say to you?
They marvel at me because I've always been a role model in my township, and they know me.
Yeah, sorry, Veronica. Yourself. I'm talking about your 16-year-old self. Yes.
You know what? I'm very self-critical, but I'm proud of my journey, and I always tell myself that, you know what, you're doing well.
Yeah.
Even when it's tough, I keep reminding myself that, Veronica, you're doing well. You're beautiful, extremely so.
I agree.
Intelligent.
Yes.
You are unique. And continue being who you are.
Yeah.
And those are the ways that I repeat to myself. And those are the ways that I also tell others.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know who you are, and you keep losing yourself in the process, you will then lose it. So I always tell myself, that young girl in Soshanguve, that I'm proud of you. You know, I'm not sure you know Soshanguve as a township.
Yeah, no, not really, but I know where it is.
we grew up in a township whereby there was jack rolling women. There were gang rapes. And it was not defined as gang rape. It was, and the women were blamed for such things, and I'm grateful that God spared me from such things.
Yeah.
And that I always remind myself that, you know what, thank God every day for everything, because there's so many things that you have been spared from. What you are experiencing is just to build you, not to crush you, because there are so many things that you were protected from.
Yeah.
And I am grateful.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on the issue of, you mentioned it, that women are beaten to the point that they forget who they are. Women are not beaten by men to forget who they are.
Yeah.
They are beaten by women.
Two.
Yeah. Mother-in-laws, begezela, umfazi, Agabi, Estradin, whatever stories, the things that you always get that pulls you down.
Yeah.
This is how you need to dress. Men don't like this. It starts there because we are the ones that are pulling each other down. And hence we need a group of mentors.
Yeah, certainly.
That can step in and change that behavior and that narrative.
Yeah.
And we are not saying that we are taking you to hell, but we are helping you to become a better person. Why? Because we've been through that.
Yes. Learn from others' mistakes and lessons, indeed. This has been such a beautiful conversation to have with you. I was really looking forward to it, and I'm glad you made the time.
Thank you.
And I'm especially more grateful because you need to be resting, and you chose to spend this hour with us. So I really appreciate it. And I want to thank you personally also for the work that you do for the women in South Africa. And I know you were expanding to the continent just before COVID happened. And I look forward to so much more that you're still going to do with this initiative. And we're here to support you. And good luck with the finalists, top 10 finalists. I hope South Africa voted.
Thank you. And I still appeal to South Africans and my fellow Africans to please vote for me.
The lines closed on the 31st, unfortunately.
Oh, I must thank them for voting for me.
Yeah.
This is a great honor. Seipati, thank you very much. It's a great honor. It's one of those awards. I received a lot of awards in my life. The last one was the Accenture one. But this is one award that is driven by a group of Black women recognizing other women. It's so special.
Thank you.
Because why we women, we hardly recognize each other. And, you look at the track record of a person, the things that they are doing, and you know that once you are recognized here, it means you are doing something that is great.
Definitely.
And as a finalist, even being a finalist, it means a lot. And I'm really grateful. I was also looking forward to the interview. And I'm happy that I managed to have this conversation with you. I'm really blessed.
So lovely. Once again, thank you so much for your time. And I'm hoping, I don't know, you'll be a new mom. I don't know if I'm trying my luck, pushing my luck by saying, see you at the awards. But you never know. Nowadays, women are just superhumans. There's a baby today, tomorrow she's at a function. So we never know. But all the best going forward, and hopefully we'll engage again soon.
Thank you very much, and have a lovely day too.
You too. Bye.
Bye.